I'm going to start off my 6 days of spooky video game recommendations with what is possibly my favorite horror game of all time, Dead Space 2. The Dead Space series combines the isolation of space that I loved about Alien with the freaky reanimated monsters that I loved in, well, pick one. But these monsters weren't just your run-of-the-mill zombies. Necromorphs provided you with a villain unlike anything that you had seen before in a game, because you couldn't just shoot them. You had to disable them Evil Dead style. Take off their head and they kept coming at you. You needed to chop them up into very strategic pieces. Sounds gruesome, but it actually forced you to think about where you shot, which in a game that's designed to rattle your nerves could be a real threat. But they weren't what really scared you about this game. Sure, they provide you with a few jumps here and there, but what really sent shivers down your spine were the locations. The Ishimura in Dead Space was one of the most disturbing settings I've ever encountered in a game. That feeling that you were thousands of miles away from anyone that could help you, that you were basically walking through a graveyard where everyone was either dead, converted into a necromorph, or insane, with the sound of giant creatures scuttering around the vents, knowing that they could pop out anywhere at any moment. It never once gave me a moment to rest. I had to stop playing this game constantly just to get my nerves together. So why am I going with Dead Space 2 instead of Dead Space 1? Well, partly because I feel it expanded on the story in a way that made sense for our characters. It provided plenty of new chilling levels such as the daycare, and of course there is one level that I don't want to spoil, but it's a callback to the first game, and holy cow, it was unexpected and even more chilling than when I experienced it in the first game. Plus, there are several new monsters in this one, which somehow managed to be even freakier than the ones in the first game. I mean, the baby bombs, for crying out loud. And despite the fact that the second game is located on a space colony rather than in some floating isolated ship, they still found a way to make you freak out at every little sound and make you think that something was coming around every corner. I mean, for crying out loud, there is a sun, a cardboard cutout of a sun that freaked me out in this game. And not to mention, the ending of the second game, to me, is one of the best endings from any video game I've ever played. I'm not going to spoil anything about it. I'm just going to say I could not have been more satisfied with how this game ended. Plus, the thing that really makes Dead Space stand out to me is how frustrating it is. Everything in the world of Dead Space is broken and rigged against you. If something can break in this world, it will, and you are the only person who can fix it, and you have to run back and forth to make sure that every single thing is functioning, knowing the whole time that 2 seconds later something brand new will break, and you're gonna have to go through wave after wave of necromorph to try and fix it again. I love it, but you feel so bad for Isaac Clarke. And okay, I know I said I wasn't going to spoil the ending, but I do have to spoil this. So forgive me for that, and for the language you're about to hear, but it's because of that at the end of all of this, when you have had to go through so much crap, you finally think that you're going to be at peace, and you finally think that you've saved the day. Then psych! The necromorphs were playing you the whole time, and when they pull that twist on you, Isaac Clarke, after having to go through so much trouble, has the best reaction.
Mars is the last body you need to be reborn. The Makers must be absorbed.
The Makers? You mean me? But Strauss said we could destroy the marker.
Not if we consume you first.
God damn it, I trusted you. Fuck you. Fuck your marker.
When you have had to go through so much trauma, so many obstacles, and so many scares, only to find out that you played right into the necromorph's hand this whole time, that one moment made me want to stand up and cheer. So that, and the ending of the game, which again, I will not spoil for you, but it is perfect, are the reasons why this game edges out that first one by just a hair for me. Hey, thanks again for watching, everyone. Remember, I'll be back all the way up until the 31st with more spooky game recommendations. And if you're a movie or comic book fan, I'm doing recommendations on those as well every single day. So make sure that you check those out, subscribe, and give us a thumb up below. It really does help. So thanks again for watching, everyone, and happy Halloween.